Hello, everyone. This is Madeline Dale with a Chapter Goddess, and I have an excellent author for you guys this morning. I'm going to let her introduce herself and tell us a little bit about her book.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Wilkerson, and my book is entitled Kingdom of Grace. Actually, the author name on it is K.M. Wilkerson. And basically, it's a book about two kingdoms that are suffering from a drought and need some spiritual guidance in order to get through it. And it was written during a spiritual awakening time for myself. And so I put a lot of my heart and soul into it, and I hope you like it.
That is awesome. Where did you get the idea for the cover?
I worked with the publisher, and illustrator. So the publishing company that published my book actually found the illustrator for me, and we just went back and forth, and a lot of the things that they came up with, I kind of I told them the vision that I had in my head, and then I had to really get descriptive with everything in order for them to kind of put something together. So for the most part, I had I'm not a great drawer, so I had some really awful sketches, and I sent them to them. But one of the you'll see inside the book itself, the cover is actually a page within the book as well. And that's kind of, I just pulled it out of the book and said, you know what, that really describes more of what it's all about. It's the whole castle that you really have to look at. The whole kingdom there is really what is the big picture. So
that's awesome. Tell us a little bit about the characters in your story.
So there is a queen of one kingdom who is raising a son because she had lost her king. So there's some, sadness and depression and some things going on there. And it's and the queen can see that it's affecting the prince because it's in the air, it's there, and they really needed to overcome that. They really needed to come out of it. And when they make that first step, and you'll kind of have to read the book to see how they make the first step and come together with another kingdom, there's similar situations going on. There's turmoil in another kingdom as well. There's turmoil everywhere. And if we really look at the world, there's turmoil everywhere. Everybody, every household has something it's going through. And really everyone has the opportunity to look to something greater than themselves and find their way out of it. And really just push through and clean up their mess, like if we're sitting in depression, if we're sitting in just this icky sense of icky is probably not a great word, but this sadness, like you don't have to stay there. You can overcome it. You can come out of that. And many people find different ways of doing it. Some people believe that it's all within themselves. Personally, I think that, I am not that strong. And so I have God. And for quite a long time, at different points in my life, I put God on the side and was just like, oh yeah, he's there, whatever. And yeah, I believe him and all this. But if you're not consistently working on your relationship with God and really acknowledging that he's the one that brings the blessings, then you're going to get what you get.
Yeah.
And so, there's, I have a lot of spiritual background that kind of plays into my writing.
So that is good. So it sounds like there's a lot of mental health stuff in your book as well. Do you have any recommendations for self-care that would help maybe other readers and authors with their mental health?
Oh my God, yes. So I am a true believer that therapy, mental health, is so important, because that's actually one of the catalysts that got me back to God.
Mhm.
In a stronger way. I really think that they can go hand in hand. There are several different belief systems, even within Christianity, that you know don't think that mental health is something that you should necessarily need, that you should put all your faith in God. My belief is that God gave us brains and intelligence and continues to evolve us on purpose. Um, just like those people would go and see a doctor for a broken bone, because why? We became smart enough to learn how to heal from broken bones, by having those people that are intelligent. So there's but I will say this as well, is that it's very important when pursuing mental health, um, doctors, whether it's psychiatrists, whether it's deciding on whether you need to go on medications temporarily, forever, whatever your decisions end up being, they need to be your decisions, and you need to be very, very cautious on allowing um, other people to dictate whether or not it's right for you. And if you do not have someone in the mental health field that has your same belief systems and backgrounds, they may not understand where you're coming from completely, as much as they may try, because I do believe they all have great hearts. It's just not always the best match. And so you really have to go and search. And it's okay to be like, you know what? We just don't vibe. I'm going to go over here and see if there's somebody else, but don't give up, because they could be a wonderful part of your journey in living the happiest life you can, because you're still going to go through stuff. Like,
Yeah.
people still get sick. People still, have accidents. People still lose their jobs, or, stuff still happens. So to really care for yourself is not selfish. It's a necessity. So
That is good. In creating this story, what did you find was your biggest struggle?
what was my biggest struggle? I don't I don't know. I think it was very freeing. And when I look back at it, there are days where I'm like, why did I even do this? Like, why, why, out of everything I've ever written, why did I publish this? um, but it just came out of me, and I just felt like it was supposed to, and that I was meant to have it play out that way. I don't really have any regrets of or hardships about that. Of course, there are moments where I wish I could put more focus into promoting it, and giving it more time and attention that really it should have. But because I really think God wanted me to. I know that sounds really corny, um but I do. I believe that. And so, like, every time, like this, like if I have an interview or a podcast or speaking engagement, whatever it is, and it comes up, like, those things tend to run really smooth. And they work out. And I'm like, okay, God, well, I guess that's because of you, like you're getting the glory from this. So, okay. Um, when it comes to other stuff, like, writers don't make a lot of money. Like,
We don't.
it's like there's no money in writing a book. Like,
Yeah.
you put a lot of money out, but you do not really get the royalties. Yeah, I don't care if you're a bestseller, like you still don't make all this money off of royalties. It just doesn't happen. And people don't recognize that just because your face is all over or your book is all over. Like, that doesn't mean anything. Like,
There's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears going into it. So.
right. Right. And so people don't really understand that unless they're in it, and so so like you got to go to work. Like, I was just telling my boyfriend the other day, I'm like, hey, even superheroes had day jobs. Look at Peter Parker and Superman. They had to go to work.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not wrong.
Supergirl, whatever. So, so yeah, so we got to still go out because, you got to pay bills and you got to do whatever. So all those things tend to get in the way, and they don't always go as smoothly. So, but God finds a way to make sure that we get what we need, so
So
the bills
what
are
does
paid.
your writing routine look like then with everything you've got going on, being the mom and working and stuff?
Oh my gosh. So my son is 17, and so he is really venturing out into, you know, what his future looks like. He's very dead set on going into the military. So he's preparing for that. He's in high school, but he's also taking college courses. So helping him to maintain, a healthy schedule and eating right and everything. Like, I try to give him the things that I didn't have in order to, make sure that he's successful and doesn't fail in those areas. And that keeps me pretty busy, as well as like I've taken on more work, uh, doing different promotions and things like that, and speaking engagements and whatever. And so juggling my calendar, um, honestly leaves, my dog unwashed. He needs a bath. And the dishes are in the sink. Like, so, I put them in the calendar, and some days I ignore it. And other days it's, everything is fine. Um, it really just depends on how busy the week is. So, but it's busy.
Yeah.
Busy.
So it's kind of like finding just the spare moment, like, oh, I've got time. Yes.
Yeah, like this morning, like how we were saying, like an appointment gets canceled. It's like, cool, I got coffee now.
Yes. It's a good spot. Like, okay, I have extra time. Do I nap or do I clean or do I write?
Exactly. Yeah. So one thing that keeps me really kind of, I don't know, happy, I guess, is writing. And every single day I I'm writing. I'm writing something. I have blocked times in my calendar, regardless of work schedule or pickup and drop off schedule for kids, or whatever, or even all of my household chores are in my calendar blocked out. Like, my I decided to go back to school in the beginning of the year and get my BA. And so a lot of my writing is dedicated towards schooling. But it still gives me that outlet. It still gives me that real not just creativity, but also, but really that socialization that I think a lot of us have missed out on in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So that's been really important.
Hello, pandemic.
Yes. And the
So,
book came out a week after we went into lockdown.
oh my gosh. Do
Yeah.
you feel like the pandemic affected like your creativity any?
Yes and no. In the beginning, I think it probably did. I had to become more creative in throwing out my whole business plan on how I was going to make this work, and it was going to be great. And I had all these great ideas and the whole, lineup of like where I was going to go and do readings and all this stuff. And then, and then I took so long editing the book that when it came out and it was a week after the freaking lockdown, I was like, oh my God, this is nothing is going to happen.
Yeah.
So within a few months, so I was writing a whole lot. I was like, let me just focus on the next book and put my effort there and whatever. And then a few months later, I was like, no, I need to do something. I need to figure it out. And I decided to do a book tour. And I did a book tour anyways. And there were no readings, there were no events going on in Barnes and Nobles and everywhere. But they were really awesome. And they let me come in and we did, we streamed and put out pictures and, promoted through social media mostly. And just kind of pushed on that out in social media land. And, so it's still, it was a lot of fun. It was still a lot of fun. We were on the road a lot. My sister-in-law came with me a bunch, and we got all through California. And then my son was in school in Georgia. So, flying back and forth. And so,
that's a big gap there.
Yeah. So there's a few other places and then I just found out that, just the other day, I found out that my book is actually in Jacksonville, Florida's library.
Hey,
and I'm like, how
awesome.
did that happen? That's pretty cool. Yeah. No clue where that came from. I have a feeling I know who it is, but it was really exciting.
That is awesome. I am excited for you because that's really cool. I feel like that's a huge accomplishment as an author.
Right. Yeah. So that was just and I don't even know how it never came up before and it just popped up and I'm like, that was that made my day, It's that's exciting.
Gosh. So go ahead and tell our viewers and readers where they can find you and your work.
Okay, so I'm all over social media. You can search for Kimberly Wilkerson. Also on, Instagram, on Facebook. I have Twitter. I'm not on Twitter a whole lot, but I do have an account. And I try to publish there as much as I publish on, Facebook. But most of our stuff is on Facebook. I also have a blog, which is mylegacyforchristopher.com. And it's through WordPress. And then Kingdom of Grace can be purchased through, it's on Barnes and Nobles, Google, Amazon, iTunes. You can basically find it anywhere. And if you like shopping your local bookstores to help local businesses, they can order it through any of the major printers as well. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Kimberly, for being on our show today. You guys make sure you check out her work.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. It was really fun.
Anytime.